So yeah, the next one I'm quite interested about. This is an article that Barry wrote that I read when he wrote it a few months back. I thought it was fantastic. So Barry, tell me about this.
Yeah, so the reason I put this on here actually isn't because of the content of the article
Yeah,
itself, but a little story that happened around the article.
sure.
So, like you say, I wrote this article a while ago, and it was commissioned by First Rand Bank. They commissioned me to write a 4-part series on AI, and so I put an awful lot amount of work into it, and I produced the 4-part series. And at present, they've published 2 of the 4 parts, and they'll publish the next 2 in the coming months. It was a series I was very, very proud of, and I spent a lot of time on. So it was published on the First Round website, and I got a lot of good feedback from it. That kind of happened a few months ago, and I got a very interesting email, or 2 emails actually, a few days ago, from 2 readers who congratulated me on this article appearing on the front page of Biz News,
Oh wow.
a website that I knew nothing about and definitely hadn't submitted my article to.
Right.
So I read these lovely emails and was very confused, and so I typed in Biz News into my browser, and there it was. There was my article on the front page. And what they had done is that they had written a 3 or 4 line paragraph at the top, kind of explaining the content of the article, and then it republished my article in full.
Yeah.
And it also misspelled my name. So at this stage, I was a little bit pissed off, because what it looked like from my perspective was that they had simply stolen the article off the First Round website and had republished it for their own audience, which they were selling ads on. So they were making money off this without any permission being granted. No one spoke to me about it. And if I didn't get the email from the reader, I never would have found out about it, right? And this is also the 3rd time that I've had an article that's been like blatantly, what I thought was blatantly plagiarized and taken and republished in full on another platform, right? So I got very angry, and I got pissed off, and I sent a rather snarky email to Biz News to say, what the hell is going on? Can you just take, who gave you permission to take my article and republish it? Yeah. And I got a email back, which was a very humbling moment, when they told me that, no, First Rand has sponsored this part of the website,
right.
And they're going to be publishing one of the articles every single week. And immediately I realized that I had jumped to this crazy conclusion of like blatant plagiarism, and I'd got myself in a bit of a tiz and kind of got very angry and pissed off. And this very polite email coming back explaining to me that no, relax, First Rand has given permission and has actually sponsored this piece, really put me in my place. So the reason I'm bringing it up is because a lot of times we assume malice, or we assume ill intent on the part of somebody else. So we see something happen, a friend does something or someone does something to us, and we immediately go to the worst case scenario. Yep. They're betraying us, or they don't like us, or whatever the self-talk in our head is. Yep. And if I had just taken a moment to find out the real story and the real reason my article was republished on that site, I wouldn't have gone through all that emotion, and I wouldn't have looked like a jerk when I emailed them to say what the hell is going on. And so I'm bringing it up to say we need to think, and I'm talking to myself here, we need to think more carefully about not assuming the worst in people and not assuming malice, and actually finding out what the story is first before we make some sort of emotional response. Yep. And once you find out, if we find out that, cool, it was plagiarized, then my emotional response is reasonable and appropriate. Sure. But in this case, it simply wasn't, and I jumped to it too quickly. So yeah, that's kind of the story. I just thought I'd share that with you guys. And Chad, I don't know what you think about that, if I handled it too roughly. But it was one of those things where I'm very protective of my work. And so to see it republished like that, I was very concerned about it.
I think your reaction is fair, and I think a lot of us would have reacted in an equal way. And I think it's amazing that you have been sort of vulnerable enough in letting us know this experience. And ultimately we're all basically I'm going to take a quote from your article. I hope you don't mind if I mention it on this.
Not at all.
That was a joke. But yeah, essentially this quote, which I think is incredible. When you examine it, the way we label each other is holding us back. I am not my job title. I am a unique human being, complex, flawed, and a walking contradiction. And I think this experience is that exactly. We are all constantly evolving, constantly learning. And I think if we're able to be serious with ourselves and each other and, just ultimately admit when we've reacted a little bit too quickly, and share our journeys and strive to be better. I think that's the sort of ultimate goal. So thanks for that experience. I honestly would have probably reacted in the same way, but yeah, definitely a good way of looking at it now that you've got that information. Pond, across the pond.